Every empire swears its money is safe. Every government insists its promises will last forever. And every time, history proves them wrong. From Rome to France, from the Confederacy to modern Lebanon, people have woken up to find their savings worthless, their salaries meaningless, and their futures erased overnight. Because collapse is not rare. Collapse is the rule. The real question is not whether financial systems fail, but how you survive when they do. The illusion of permanence is one of the most dangerous financial mistakes of all. We look at our bank balances, we look at our national currencies, and we assume they are solid ground. But money is not solid ground. Money is trust, and trust can disappear overnight. That's why history is both brutal and incredibly useful. Every collapse leaves behind patterns, warnings, and lessons, clues about what actually protects wealth and what vanishes in an instant. And if you pay attention, you'll notice something important. The survivors were never the ones who trusted the most. They were the ones who doubted first. The Byzantine Empire. The Byzantine Empire is often remembered as the eastern half of Rome that survived for nearly 1,000 years. At the center of its economy was the gold solidus, a coin trusted across Europe, the Middle East, and Asia. For centuries, it was one of the closest things the medieval world had to a global currency. The solidus contained about 4.5 grams of nearly pure gold, and for hundreds of years, its weight and purity barely changed. That stability made Byzantium a financial anchor of its time. But eventually, the same mistake returned. The purity of the gold was reduced. Cheaper metals were mixed in. At first, nobody noticed. Then trust cracked. Historians note that as gold content declined, inflation rose, and merchants began shifting toward alternative currencies like the Venetian ducat, which eventually replaced Byzantine monetary dominance in trade. And the coin that once anchored Mediterranean commerce became just another piece of political fiction. What survived? Not government promises, not paper systems, only real value, gold, land, assets that could not be printed or altered. The Black Death. In the 14th century, the Black Death struck Europe. Between 1347 and 1351, nearly half the population of Europe died. Cities emptied. Villages disappeared. Trade collapsed. But the economic story is more complex than pure destruction. Because when half the workforce disappears, labor becomes valuable. In England, wages in some regions rose by as much as 50%, marking one of the first major shifts in labor bargaining power in European history. Survivors could demand higher pay. Land became cheaper. Opportunity expanded. Crises don't just destroy wealth, they redistribute it. Florence and the banking collapse. Florence was once the financial capital of Europe. Powerful banking families like the Bardi and Peruzzi extended massive loans to kings across Europe. These loans would be equivalent to billions in today's money. When King Edward III of England defaulted, the entire system collapsed. Banks failed, trade froze, wealth vanished, and people learned a brutal truth. Being too big does not mean being safe. The Civil War and money. During the American Civil War, both sides printed massive amounts of money. As supply increased, value collapsed. By 1864, Confederate currency had experienced inflation estimated at nearly 9,000%. Paper money became almost meaningless. Real value was in land, food, and gold. The French Revolution. In revolutionary France, the government issued paper money called as It was backed by confiscated church land, but excessive printing destroyed its value. By 1796, assignats had become so worthless that people reportedly used them as fuel for fire. The Asian financial crisis. In 1997, Thailand's currency collapsed, triggering a regional financial crisis. Economies across Asia fell into recession. Currencies collapsed. Millions lost jobs. IMF intervention followed, forcing austerity and restructuring. Meanwhile, global investors acquired assets at fire sale prices. Lebanon. Between 2019 and 2021, Lebanon's banking system froze. Citizens lost access to their savings. The currency collapsed by over 90%. Life savings turned into nothing almost overnight. The system had relied on inflows of foreign currency and high-interest banking practices. When the flow stopped, the system collapsed completely. Modern world. The same pattern repeats. Modern financial crises occur roughly every 8 to 12 years. Even in advanced economies, the final truth: money collapses, systems break, institutions fail, but some things remain. Real assets, real production, real skills. Because when money loses meaning, production does not. And the real question is this: will you be among those who trust the system blindly, or those who understand what survives when it fails? History does not repeat itself, but if you ignore it, it will destroy you all the same. If this gave you a new perspective, subscribe. History has the answers, and I'll show you where to look.